First, every voice matters. Secondly, it's also about enhancing decision making. Thirdly, language accessibility. And finally, it's also about customer-centric approach.
Welcome to this webinar that covers Televic custom-made for rental events. So I'm hosting this with my colleague Bruno. Bruno is in product management. I'm doing the business development for rental market, institutions and solution partners. We will take you on a journey of about 30 minutes. Stay alert until the end because there is something to win. And if you can't, well, then you can watch the recording afterwards on our website. So we will give you an introduction on Televic. Bruno will give you a product overview. I will tell you some more about our Conference Rental Alliance and about the rental sales action for rental that is coming up. On the introduction to Televic, we have a wide range of solutions for smaller setups, for very large setups. This with a global presence. Yes, you can find us anywhere in the world with some very nice references, creating that better understanding. And that's also our vision. We create better understanding one meeting at a time. And that means that every voice matters. We have this enhanced decision making. Language accessibility is important, but also the customer-centric approach. And that is exactly also what our rental partners are about. For them, we can offer products that are made in European Union from a company that has a focus on interpretation and conference only, with a global presence that is easy accessible, that has nice training academy platform that is building up, and we have a very extensive knowledge base with a very versatile product portfolio covering small to larger rooms. Audio quality is the best you can find in the market, combined with an elegant and very efficient design. And there is more. There is smart audio and control. There is our solutions that we have with our technology partners, which brings you very easy to use integrations, and the Unite product that we added to our product portfolio quite recently. And so we come to our first question. How would you distribute 100% over the type of meetings you support? There are 5 possibilities: no languages, up to 2 to 6, up to 12, or more than 12 languages. If you're in the rental market, what is about a percentage of language distribution that you use for the meetings that you need to cover for your clients? So now let's talk about the purpose of the Televic product portfolio for the rental business. Televic has a wide history on fixed installations for European institutions, international organizations, but for many years now we are changing and adapting our products so also rental market benefits from our complete and versatile product portfolio, which is ISO compliant, it's hybrid ready, has the best-in-class audio, making it broadcast ready. This full product range is working on a complete architecture where everything works together. Wired and wireless can be mixed. You have everything on one standard Cat5 cabling, managing the audio and the video on the same cable. Low latency video distribution with no additional hardware needing. And 6 video feeds are in there. Redundancy possibilities. On Dante you have 64 in and 64 out, making it the best flexible audio routing in the market. And on top of that, we have a very extensive open API. The conference network is a dedicated network, but via the API connections, we are open to integrations and connecting to all other hardware equipment. Our products have been updated with the needs for the rental companies, where time is money. Efficiency in the setup is very important, as well as the programming, easy configuration when you start setting up. Hot swap possibilities gives you the possibility to swap a unit live during a meeting when you find any defects. And then there is the embedded room server, where the key functionalities run under central units. So you do not depend on a PC, you do not depend on a cloud connection. And everything is done there to win on time and to make the user friendliness of the complete setup very good. And now my colleague Bruno will give you an overview of the Televic product portfolio.
As Peter-Jan mentioned, I'll give you an introduction to our Televic portfolio. In our opinion, the most complete portfolio of the industry, available with multimedia units, interpretation, wired, wireless units, etc. Creating better understanding is at the core of this product portfolio, and this starts with the standard discussion, listening to what's happening in the meeting and also being heard during that meeting. Some meetings are informal, some meetings are structured. Our solutions provide the functionality needed for managing agendas, managing votings, speech timers, identification of people's authorities through badges, vote electronically, etc. And this, of course, can be and will be extended with interpretation, as multiple languages, having those available in the meeting is critical for a good understanding and participation of all participants. And it ends with multimedia. More and more meetings are hybrid and require remote participation, but also sharing content on the device through participants, not only on a big screen, but also on units just in front of you. And more meetings are hybrid. What do we mean? Meetings are having remote participants, participants in the room, mix and match of all of them, and we want to make sure that all content is shared equally for the different participants. That's where our Unicos unit steps in. Unicos, our multimedia device, focuses on to see what's happening, see the content that's being shared, see the participants that are in the room but out of your line of sight or remote participants, be seen by the other participants through the integrated webcam, and to be able to participate actively by viewing documents, looking, participating in votings, even managing the meeting as a chairperson from the device itself. The Unicos itself is an all-in-one design, so an all-in-one device that you just put on the table, and as all of our Plixus devices are connected or connectable through daisy chaining a simple Cat5 cable. The built-in camera and the tiltable screen make sure that everybody is always positioned perfectly in front of the screen, can see and can be seen in the perfect viewing angle. Why is this important? It solves part of the line of sight issues. In a meeting, you have, as a participant, you want to look at a screen that is somewhere. There might be somebody in front of you. There might be a pillar in the room in front of you. There's multiple obstacles that can be in the way, and by looking at the screen that can be solved. The other way around, the same applies for that can be solved. The other way around, the same applies for cameras in the room. If they want to take a visual of you, they will not always be able to take a full frontal view, and that's where the webcam, the integrated webcam, actually comes in. So Unicos solves that line of sight issue by providing you as a participant a direct view on the content that you need to see, being it remote participants or a presentation that is being shared, or otherwise the remote participants or the other people in the room can see you easily by looking at the image of the integrated webcam. That's, you may say, is not a typical rental scenario, but take this a step further and look at a large-scale conference room where there is a presidency desk in front, and the chairs of the meeting can use the Unicos to look at the screen, which limits the number of big screens that you have to put around in the room, thus simplifying the setup of the complete installation. What is also important is all the video routing, the video management can be done through the same device, through the same setup, with just the same cable. So there's no additional video cabling, there's no long-range HDMI cables that you need to pull around the table. Just using the standard Cat5 cable, you can connect both audio, video, presentation sharing, and enabling all of that functionality. And if you want to take it to the next step, you can extend this installation with the nameplates for example, for a presidency desk, where you put the name, logo, the role of a participant on the device. The nameplate itself is an e-ink display, which again means that from whatever angle you're videotaping it or taking pictures, there's never going to be a flickering. The image will always be bright and the contrast will be very high. So perfect solution for these type of events. Of course, not every participant needs a Unicos display or a Unicos device, and that's where our Confidea Flex unit comes in to play. The Confidea Flex is really a versatile, multi-faced application, and by multi-faced I mean that through the integrated touchscreen with haptic feedback, it is very easy to customize it to the needs of the specific event. You can put on your own logo of the event, logo of the customer, so there's nothing more beautiful than walking into a big conference room and seeing 200 Flex devices all highlighting the logo of the event. And that's just a configuration option part of the system. Through that touchscreen, it's very versatile and you can very easily add voting, identification through a PIN code, a badge, or a lot of, or just fixed seating so that somebody can walk into the room, find their seat and log into the system. And it offers a full language selection, so it can you can listen to any interpretation language that's available in the system. The Flex by default is a wired device, but there's also the Flex Wireless or the Flex G4 and Go wireless devices, which offer the exact same functionality, but in a wireless context. So what does it mean? It's a Wi-Fi 5, so 5 gigahertz enabled Wi-Fi system with full self-healing channel management. So no worries about choosing the correct channel, doing a full scan of the interference in the room. The G4 units will dynamically scan the ether and what's present in the room and choose the most optimal channels. If this changes during the meeting because a lot of participants are activating mobile hotspots, the device will detect this automatically and do automatic swapping of bands to accommodate that and provide the most optimal connectivity. Additional to that, the battery management is very flexible and very easy. There are 2 battery compartments in the device, so you can hot swap one battery while the device stays active and keeps functioning. Very easy to do during a break, for example. You just walk into the room with a bag of batteries, swap out batteries, and you're good to go again. Each single battery can last you up to 12 hours of discussion. If you insert 2 batteries, that makes 24 hours, so you're ready for the most complex or long time meetings. What's the other advantage of using a wireless unit is that it's very easy to set up flexible conference rooms. You can connect up to 4 different wireless access points together. And in this setup, for example, we have 2 separate rooms, each with their own access points. If you connect those together to a Plixis central unit, you can actually very easily move the removable wall in the room and have them function as one integrated setup. And this only takes a few mouse clicks, and you go in 2 minutes or less from one conference room into 2, or vice versa. Now, from a hardware perspective, what's also important about the Flex devices, and actually about all of our devices, the wireless units already featured the mic microphone. So we lovingly call it the mic microphone. It's a standard microphone with a push lock connection. So you just push it into the device, and with a simple push of the button, you can remove it. So again, for setup and removal and cleanup of the room, very easy and very efficient. And this microphone has been introduced into our entire product portfolio of the Plixis devices. So from now on, you're able to get the Unicos, the Flex Go, all devices with this push lock microphone available. Again, one of the things that make it much easier and more efficient, more time efficient for a rental organization to set up a room. For example, this is a larger conference room where there is a wired setup. Presidency desk, not visible on the screen, could be using Unicast, for example. And if you need additional stations, or there are suddenly more people that come up, you can just extend the system very easily with wireless setups. Or if you have a second listening room, you can connect those easily as well. Of course, these large-scale type of conference room often require interpretation. What kind of interpretation, or what is important for that interpretation? That is our Lingua ID, which is a interpretation desk that has been designed for interpreters with a lot of feedback by interpreters. So we actually actively went into the market, listened to interpreters, listened to their needs, and provided specific features for them. So the ergonomic design, the Braille notifications on the device, etc., are all part of that design. It's compliant with all current ISO standards. And important, I already mentioned it with a Unicast device, you can again use a multimedia unit, plug in any HDMI screen, and put one of the 6 video streams of the Plexus network on this device. Again, saving you cabling, time to set up, etc., to bring a video screen into the interpreter booth available. Now, in a lot of conference rooms or conference rental setups, not every delegate needs a dedicated device. Some rooms or some setups, some events are more a one-way type of communication, and that's where the other applications and interpretation come in. So this is one of the screens of setups of adding interpretation. What we see a lot in the market as well is that there is an existing fixed infrastructure that needs to be extended for a specific event with with extra languages. So it's very easy to just add, by daisy chaining again, extra Lingua IDs. It's very easy to add additional boots or add a mobile boot into the system. Now, this is for the interpreter. What I was started to talk about was the distribution of the language in the room. Not everybody necessarily needs a conference device. If you want to have one-way distribution of the languages, we actually have 2 solutions. One is Unite, and the other one is the Lingua IR or infrared solution. The infrared solution, is again ISO certified, is very easy to install purely from a practical point of view because the radiators are lightweight and compact and easy to carry around. But also once they are set up, you have the automatic delay line compensation so that the system can automatically tweak and configure itself to have the optimized broadcasting of the infrared signal. And all of this up to 40 language channels that can be managed this way. An alternative to the infrared solution is Unite. Unite is a DECT-based platform or DECT-based system, which is just as easy to manage and to install, which also offers encrypted communication and up to 32 channels. The advantage of Unite, or the disadvantage, depending on how you look at it, they both have their strong points and different points. And for Unite, it's using DECT RF technology, meaning it actually can go through walls. It's a mobile solution, you can very easily walk around with it. Infrared, on the other hand, has the advantage or disadvantage, depending on the use case, that it stays within the room. So depending on the needs of the customer, the desires of the region, sometimes there are regional differences that might make a difference. What is interesting in particular about Unite is that it's a Swiss Army knife of mobile and wireless communication. It's not limited to this language distribution use case. Why is that? Because what we talked about for now is one-way distribution of the language. So one person or one audio source is speaking and all the rest of the participants are listening. However, you can also do that interactively and provide a talkback or a talkback functionality of the device. This means that Unite can actually be used for the typical wireless presenting use cases in a typical event. You have the presenters, like I am right now. You have a Unite unit that you are using and connecting. You distribute the audio through any platform of choice, and then the people in the room can listen to it. However, it's also possible that the audience can push the talkback functionality, the green button on the side, and then they can ask questions, saving you the making the discussion actually fully interactive. Apart from that, a typical use case for Unite is of course the guided tours. What's the advantage of Unite? You do not necessarily need an access point. The device on the left that you see on the slide, they have a transmitter or a handheld microphone, and they function as a transmitter. The people listening just carry the pocket receiver with standard headphones that you can, any type of headphones, or they can bring their own type of headphones, and they can just listen in to the discussion. And if they, with a push of one button, they can very easily interact and talk back to the guide or whoever is giving the guided tour. The use cases are plenty of those, and you can use it for informal discussions, use it as a silent PA system, the guided tours to make announcements, etc. So the flexibility is really, really high. What I did not highlight or did not explicitly highlight yet was that from a setup perspective, it's actually very easy to configure and set up the system. Everything starts with a central unit, which can either be an AER for audio-only systems or a multimedia unit that allows a connection of multimedia devices like the Unicos or the Lingo ID with video output. But you can just very easily extend it as well with a wired flex unit and mix and match the different types of devices, and just on the same part adds the interpretation into the system. Camera tracking can be added very easily. If you want language distribution either through infrared or Unite, again, just a connection to the central unit, and you can connect the additional nameplates or the wireless units to make it a fully flexible solution to accommodate any type of needs or combination of needs that you might have for your project. The combination of having the wired wireless devices together is really one of the strong points and part of the flexibility of the solution, and especially if you can combine it with language distribution like infrared or Unite. Now, for now, we've talked about mostly the high-end meetings where you require that interactivity, where you have requirements on interpretation, where you have requirements on sharing media into the system. Part of our product range is Discerno, which is an audio-only reinforcement platform, audio-only platform for speech reinforcement. What's the big advantage of using a solution as Discerno? It's again using the same type of Cat5 cabling for setting up a meeting and configuring everything. It also has USB audio connection for you so that you can bring in the audio outside into a DSP system or an external data source. And it's really easy to connect it to online meeting platforms like Zoom, Teams, WebEx, etc. by just plugging into the USB cable. And this easy integration for smaller meeting rooms where you just need that audio reinforcement is what makes it really easy. Just take the central units, plug in the cables, plug in the units, put them on the table, and you're ready to go. There's almost zero configuration needed, and it's in 30 minutes, 1 hour, you're ready to go to set up your meeting. And these are really, this solution is really convenient for the type of informal meetings without a dedicated agenda, just focusing on the audio quality. You just set up the system, connect the devices, and just as well plug it into a laptop to connect it to a Zoom call or a Teams setting, or connect it to a typical MTR device. And if you want to provide some more functionality or connect it to an in-room audio reinforcement system, external speakers, you can very easily connect a DSP to keep that flexibility or to extend the platform that way. In summary, the different types of devices include the multimedia systems, of course, to which we look at the Unicos and the nameplates. These are all wired. For the interpretation, we have our Lingo ID interpretation desks, extended for the in-room participants with the infrared receivers or Unite platform, and the conferencing system with the Flex units that are, as the name suggests, very flexible in configuration. You can just, by adding a license, add voting, add interpretation into the system, both wired and wireless. If you just need a plain discussion, there is the Discerno system that accommodates those needs as well. From the central unit perspective, I do want to focus on this shortly as well. We have the different types of central units, and what I really want to highlight is that these, for example, the multimedia unit, this one manages both the audio as well as the video system or the video streams in the room. So again, that means you just walk in, take the Peli case with your central unit, your MME or a mobile rack, and you can do audio, video, camera tracking all in one. All of them in a very compact space. So the multimedia unit is 2 units, the other ones are 1 unit. So we are one of the, if not the most compact conferencing system if you look at rack space and weight to carry around. Especially in a context of rental events, I think that's an important factor as well. So up till now, I've been focusing on the hardware of the system. There's of course software involved as well. Confero is our proposed platform of choice for the rental industry. And why? Because it's so easy to manage and to use. The Confero system runs on the central unit itself. So are you either talking about the AER for audio-only systems, the multimedia unit for multimedia systems, or the Wireless G4 access points, they all offer the same Confero software or similar Confero software, which is accessible through a web interface directly from the central unit, meaning that you can do all configuration without any additional hardware, PCs, computers. You just need one laptop to connect to the central units and you're good to go. One part that is, I think, very important in the context of rental is the audio configuration that allows you to select from a number of standard presets to select what's the best setup for this occasion, being it's just a standalone in-room system, or if you need remote interpretation or remote audio participants, or that you want to go a full DSP mode and just take out all of the audio channels and process them in your favorite DSP. This Confero audio configuration and routing is quite extensive, and you can create, very similar to a Dante setup, create very complex routings, excluding the need for a lot of tasks that you would otherwise need a DSP for. And it's also possible to inject external languages into the system. So if your event is using Zoom or Teams for remote interpretation, for example, you can just take that audio channel, inject it on one of the language audio translation channels in the system, and all the in-room participants immediately have access to the remote interpretation. And if you want to take it even a step further, Confero also offers an integration with a cloud platform called Confero Meet, which allows you to have remote participation into the platform as well. This is an alternative to Zoom or Teams, for example, but it has some specific features unique to the platform. And one of them is the meeting moderation. It offers the advantage that remote participants have the same look and feel in the interface as the in-room participants. They see the same agenda and they can follow the agenda items. They can participate in votings into the system just like the in-room participants. And important, the chairperson of the meeting can manage the remote participants and the in-room participants from the same interface in the same way. So even if you are a remote participant, the chairperson can deactivate your microphone just like you would be able to do for any in-room participant. So this is a quick overview of the product portfolio. I do invite you also to have a look at other webinars that we have made available. So there's a dedicated webinar that we published some time ago on Unite. There's a dedicated webinar on the Unicos and line of sight issues and how you can solve that. And there's also a dedicated webinar on the language distribution in any type of meeting room that you can have a look at if you want to go more in depth on one of these topics. And this part brings us then to the second question of the poll. And that's information question for us. As a rental company, do you prefer to work with infrared or RF systems like Unite for your language distribution?
So let's talk Conference Rental Alliance, the CRA. This is a fast-growing global network bringing rental companies, specialists, passionate people together around Televic equipment. We now have over 60 partners already in the world, with some of our premium partners here being on screen. Let's listen to our colleagues in the US and Asia, what they have to say about rental.
Hello, this is Istvan Jenis from Televic US. I wanted to welcome everyone to the webinar and introduce myself as a primary contact for rental partners in the US. Moving into 2025, our goal is to expand Televic's US rental market presence. Our focus will be on increasing both the number of partners and the availability of Televic Wireless G4 and Discerno units. We are already off to a great start with DS Interpretation being a founding and premium member of the CRA network. DS has offices in the Washington, D.C., San Francisco Bay Area, and offers many years of expertise supporting international meetings and conferences with a large inventory of Televic simultaneous interpretation equipment, infrared receivers, and conference units. Partners like Michael Andrews AV in the New York City market, Pinnacle Live in the Midwest, and AV Media with offices in Orlando and Phoenix have already purchased large quantities of wireless G4 units. For Discerno rentals, Metro Multimedia in New York and Keynote in Washington have cross-rental stock available. Looking forward to connecting with all of our U.S. listeners as we continue to expand Televic's rental presence in the U.S. marketplace. We are here to help make this a successful partnership for all of us. Thank you.
After the expansion of Televic rental business in Europe, it's now the turn of US and APAC. Especially in Asia, we see an enormous potential to work with rental companies. As a brand that really focuses on the needs of those companies, we believe we can create better understanding for them and their customers. We are already working with several authorized CRA partners in Philippines, Taiwan and Thailand, and we just brought on a major new strategic CRA partner, which is Hoso in Japan. Bringing this highly professional new rental partner on board in Asia illustrates our ambition as a CRA to stimulate a global collaboration between rental companies and to expand our Conference Rental Alliance with high-level professionals in the rental industry all over the world.
The Conference Rental Alliance brings companies together for easy dry hire possibilities, combining forces for larger events. They bring people together for collaborating, experience exchange, growing together, but also having fun, of course. We share the passion for conference and simultaneous interpretation. We brought our premium partners together in Bulgaria, August of this year, where we had some workshops, experience exchanges, but also a visit to the manufacturing facilities of Televic in Bulgaria. Televic is heavily involved in this Conference Rental Alliance, making products that best fit our rental partners' needs. It's about reliability, flexibility, intuitivity, audio quality. It's a vision for the future, not just the product of today. Within CRA, we have 3 levels of partners, from basic, standard to premium. We all collaborate to make some nice events happen for our final customers. But let's listen to what our partners have to say about the Rental Alliance.
We are a proud member, a founding member of the Conference Rental Alliance with Televic Conference. And what that means to us is that we have access to the best technology for conference services in the world and a team of experts that are collaborators, not competitors, that we can rely on to serve our clients on a global basis and provide the best service and produce the best events in the world.
The Conference Rental Alliance is important for us as a member because it's a community with like-minded, quality-driven companies.
If you want more info on the CRA, please do visit our website where you can find partners, you can indicate you want to be a partner, or find some regular info. And do not forget to follow us on LinkedIn to be updated on the latest news. So we come to our last question. Again, 100% to distribute over remote platforms that you use for your rental events. Teams, Zoom, WebEx, Qdo, Interprefy, or Interactio. Which ones do you use the most and how would you distribute that over these 100%? Now, while you had some time to answer this last question, let's listen to some keywords that we recorded during our CRA event in Bulgaria last August.
Expertise,
possibility,
exchange,
growing, spirit,
future prospects,
collaboration,
experience,
international,
networking,
fun,
better understanding.
In the beginning of this webinar, I indicated a first-time buy action. Now is your time to reach out to us if you are not involved in Televic equipment yet to take your chance. We have a good action in place for people who want to buy Televic for the first time, but reach out to us. We will explain you in detail on what it means for you. Anywhere in the world, we have this action for you.
Next IEC in Barcelona, Conference Rental Alliance will organize a network dinner. It will be open to all rental companies. Save the date for February 4th, that's a Tuesday, to participate in this evening event. You can already pre-register via this poll and then you will later on receive an official invitation. Your access ticket will be waiting for you at the Televic booth at IEC at the first day.
Do not forget about our next webinar, which is in November, covering solutions for courtrooms. If you want to look at this webinar again, you can find it in the webinar section on our website. And do not forget to stay in touch via LinkedIn or other social medias for the latest updates.
First, every voice matters. Secondly, it's also about enhancing decision making. Thirdly, language accessibility. And finally, it's also about customer-centric approach.